This question's from Kenny, and it has to do with paying employees, and he is asking, when I pay my employees by the hour, should I be paying them for their time at each job site, and should I pay them for the ride time between jobs? Exactly what should be included when I'm paying them by the hour. My perspective on this is that when you're paying by the hour, you're paying for every moment that they work. If you want to be within the law, you're paying from the moment they show up at your office, set foot on your yard, and start performing work. And then you're paying them to ride to the client's property, you're paying them to maintain that property, perform the work at that property, you're maintaining them to ride in the truck to the next property, and so on and so forth. And then you're paying them at the end of the day to ride back in your truck, unload your truck. The moment they clock in to the moment they clock out, they're on the clock and they're getting paid. You'll see a model in the commercial world where they will write contracts with their employees, contractors, however they set it up. And just because somebody does this doesn't mean they're completely within the law. I'm not saying they're not, but you'll see more in the commercial world where what they'll do is you have, as an employee, I'm going to pay you for performing the work, and then you can drive to each job. While you're driving, I'm not paying you. But by the way, you have the opportunity, if you'd like, to ride in my truck for free, but I'm not going to pay you for that. So you will see this model predominantly in commercial where there will be a driver of that truck, and that driver is on the clock from the moment he arrives at the facility to the moment he returns to the facility and unloads at the end of the day. But the individuals in the truck with him are only being paid for any work performed at the shop and job time. They're not being paid for drive time because their agreement stipulates that they should drive their own cars to every individual job, and they'll be paid for performing each of those jobs. But they can hitch a free ride in the truck if they'd like, but it's not paid time. Before you go down a road and follow that type of model, you better be certain you're double checking that will hold up in your state, and you better be sure that your employment agreement is written correctly and that it will hold up. And I can tell you from my experiences in the cleaning industry, when I used to own a company in there with some other partners, that there were other companies that were competitors of ours that for years and years had certain payment practices of employees. And then when one employee became unhappy and sued them, it resulted in settlements for lots of employees. So something creative around payroll might work out for you for 5 years, but that doesn't mean that when you do get hit, that you won't have to make up for the many years of underpaying your employees. They don't just slap your hand and say, hey, here's a fine, from now on do it right. They slap your hand and say, here's a fine, and oh, by the way, you owe a whole lot of back pay in payroll taxes and payroll money to these employees. So before you go down a road like that, I'd be very cautious. So if you want to go down a road where you're paying more for performance, then I would look at an alternative to payroll, meaning an alternative to hourly pay. I would look at piecemeal. I'd look at pay by the job. And then there's plenty of things to consider even when you do that. And you have to keep in mind overtime laws and just a whole lot of other things. So if you're going to do something creative outside of just paying straight hourly time, you want to get counsel from somebody that really knows the laws in your state. And then you'll be certain that you can sleep each night and not have to worry about someday when you get hit with some big amount of money that puts you out of business. Good luck.